Good morning on a beautiful Monday in August. Can you believe 54 degrees? Wow, we are looking at sunshine through Wednesday. Then we'll entertain the thought of thunderstorms back into the forecast for Thursday, Friday. I won't even venture to forecast the weekend just yet. Coming up on the morning show here on The Giant, we flash back to what was the Bears of Blue River Festival. Indiana State Fair closed down over the weekend as well. First time they've had that 17-day run. And high school football, we ushered that in on Friday. Good weekend for the Golden Bears and the Tigers. We'll look forward to week 2 when they both come home for the first time this Friday night. But we open with a guest in studio. He is a Shelbyville native, and fortunately, we have him back in studio for a visit. His name's Todd Leonard. Todd, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Todd, Shelbyville native, but Shelbyville is not your most common home anymore.
No, not anymore. For the past 20 years, I've lived in Japan, and this is my 20th anniversary. It's hard to believe that the 20 years have passed by so quickly. I went in July of '89, and I actually thought I would go for a year as an adventure, and the 1 year turned into 2, and then to 3, and then 20 years later, I don't see any end in sight. That's actually become my home. In a few years, I will have lived there half my life, which is, I have to pinch myself sometimes. It's hard to believe.
Don't pinch too hard. As we age, we bruise a little bit easier.
That's true.
Todd Leonard with us in studio, and let's go to the most recent news. Okay. The book in front of you, and a book signing coming up.
Yes, absolutely. I just in order to commemorate my 20th anniversary of living in Japan, I thought it would be nice to put into paper by pen some of my more interesting stories that have happened to me over the 20 years. And so I wrote An Indiana Hoosier and Lord Tsugaru's Court, Musings of an American Expatriate Living in Rural Japan. And it came out in March, and the 3 sisters have graciously invited me to do a book signing there on Public Square this Friday from 4 to 7. And then from 7 to 8, we're going to have an actual lecture called Japan in a Suitcase. And I will be dressed in formal kimono, wedding kimono that I have, and there will be door prizes, and I will do a little bit of reading from the book, but I probably will be showing a lot of items that I've collected over the years and answering questions. I've found that a lot of people in Shelbyville have a great interest in Japan because of all the industry that's in Shelby County. Even since I've been in Japan, it has grown tremendously. And there's some wonderful groups in town that assist the Japanese residents who have come to our community. So this is a little way that I can give back. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity to talk about my life. It's very easy to do because it's a big part of who I am now.
You get an opportunity to come home about this time every year? Is that correct?
I do. Recently, I've been coming home several times a year, but I definitely come home every summer. Our classes, I'm a university professor. I teach history and comparative culture, cross-cultural understanding, and, of course, English because I'm a native speaker. Can't get away from that. And our school year actually begins in April, and it goes until the end of July. And then from the end of September until, probably about the first week in January, second week in January, we have our second term. And so our spring term is actually 2 months, February, March, that we have free, and then, of course, August and most of September. So this is a good time for me to come back. I enjoy reconnecting with friends and seeing family and catching up on all the Shelbyville news that's been going on over the past year. But I do read the Shelbyville news online religiously, so I do keep up with what's going on here.
We do not have him on microphone. He certainly can be if he wishes, but I thought we would have you introduce your friend who has come with you today.
Absolutely. My friend is Shingo Ono, and he has traveled to Indiana with me. He does most every year. Would you like to say hello, Shingo? Oh, he's shy. I guess he's
That's quite all right.
Very Japanese, I guess. Unlike us Americans who have no hesitation to get to the microphone and talk. So.
I was going to say, I told you when you came in, I Googled you just to see what might pop up. I do that occasionally with guests I've not met. And actually, the very first link available was pictures to a fairly recent class reunion of a few years ago, and I believe Shingo was in the picture with you.
He was. Shingo came back for that with me. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we went to that, and that was his first experience of seeing what we call in Japanese dosokai, which is a class reunion. And it was very interesting cross-cultural exercise for him. It's a little bit different than the way they would do it in Japan, but Japan that's a very common get-together. Usually junior high school, believe it or not.
Really?
Junior high school tends to be the most popular type of class reunion because in Japan, most students are together through grade school and through junior high. But once they get to junior high, then they spread out because they have to take exams to get into high school, especially if they want to go to college. Then they try to get in the best possible high school that they can. So their core group of friends did go all the way back to junior high, which is, I guess, similar to a place like Shelbyville because I grew up and I went to Hendricks School for my first 6 years and then Shelbyville Junior High School, the old one, which has now been replaced with the new middle school, and then to high school. And most of us just continued on from 8th grade to 9th grade all the way through graduation. So I certainly have friends. Well, my oldest friend in Shelbyville, Brett Gaines, we've been friends since 3rd grade, and we still get together every time I come home. And other friends of mine, Jean Barrett Straber, who lives in Batesville now, we get together, and Eileen Richards Davis now, she's down south, but we always make a point to get together. So we have a lot of fun when I get back home and have our own little class reunions, I guess, without the official. But it was very nice to go the 25th. It's hard to believe. I can't believe that it's been 25 years. Now it's all coming up on 30. Next year will be our 30th class reunion. So I hope to come home for that as well in 2010.